Alright, 1 second. This is cold still. I gotta let that warm up before I plug it in. Do that in a second. Is there anything useful in there? I doubt it.
For us to get in and complete that search.
The fire originated from the same unit on the 8th floor last night, spreading quickly and engulfing multiple floors in flames. Hundreds of residents have since been displaced, and starting tomorrow, those being housed in the Driftwood Community Center will be relocated to York University. Red Cross is currently working with the city to figure out long-term solutions as the damage to the building is extensive. I'm Brittany Dooley.
680 News Time 8:05. A new report on major challenges faced by the healthcare sector in this country with the rise of superbugs, drug-resistant bacterial infections. 680's Mike Epple reports.
In the top water.
Superbugs may kill nearly 400,000 Canadians and cost the economy $400 billion over the next 30 years, according to the report commissioned by the Public Health Agency of Canada, made up of an expert panel in microbiology. The landmark report, entitled When Antibiotics Fail, points to the most recent data, which already shows the percentage of bacterial infections that are resistant to treatment is likely to grow from 26% in 2018 to 40% by 2050, costing Canada 396,000 lives, $120 billion in hospital expenses, and $388 billion in economic output. The Canadian report notes that resistance could increase the risk and reduce the availability of routine medical procedures, including kidney dialysis, joint replacement, chemotherapy, and C-sections. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Epple.
This is 680 News at 8:07. The Ontario Association of Chief of Police have now, and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober have launched the annual Holiday Ride campaign. 680's Irene Precklett reports.
Ann Leonard is the president of Arrive Alive, Drive Sober. She says it's about planning ahead before the party or night out, with things like having a designated driver, or if you're hosting a party, have people stay over. She says impaired driving isn't just about getting a ticket or losing your license.
You can't take it back if you do make the mistake of getting behind the wheel. And often people aren't always fatally injured, and that is the worst. But there are a lot of people who are badly injured. And that can be life-altering as well.
This year's theme for the Ride campaign, Aim for Zero. Police telling drivers to expect them to be out there. I'm Irene Precklett.
Prince Andrew says he just does not remember a woman who he has accused him of sexually exploiting her in encounters arranged by Jeffrey Epstein. Julie Walker from the Associated Press with more.
Virginia Roberts Giuffre says Epstein paid her $15,000 after she had sex with Prince Andrew in 2001 when she was 17. But the prince tells the BBC,
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
Andrews made similar denials for years, but came under new pressure following Epstein's arrest and suicide last summer in New York. The prince also tells the BBC he regrets not cutting ties with Epstein after the financier's 2008 conviction on sex crimes involving teenage girls.
I stayed with it. That's the bit that as it were, I kick myself for.
I'm Julie Walker.
680 News Time, 8:08. Tomorrow is marking an annual tradition in the city. The Santa Claus Parade is back for another year. 680's Kyle Hawking has everything you need to know about the route and the best way to get there.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yes, Santa is coming to town. He'll be here tomorrow. And he told me to tell you that if you want to stay on the nice list, take public transit to get to the parade this year, as there will be a number of road closures downtown and lots of pedestrian traffic. There's actually a new route for the parade. It begins at 12:30 at Parliament in Bloor. It will travel west along Bloor to Avenue Road, then south down to Wellington, a short jog east over to Yonge Street, south once again to Front, and then the parade makes a final turn east over to end at St. Lawrence Market. It said if you're standing standing in one spot, it'll take 2.5 hours for the whole parade to get past you. There are a number of TTC stations located along the route, or you can take GO Transit into Union Station, which is just a short walk away. I'm Kyle Hawking.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we will check the price at the pumps. 680 News Time, 8:09.
This
is 680 News.
At Markville Toyota, you're a member of the
How
family.
the fuck are you tapping shit? I'm not fucking touching the screen.
TV.
Chance, Frank, they're helping me with the garden. A better idea? Come on into Markville Toyota for finance rates from 0% or lease rates from 0.49% until like 2019.
I'm not paying by the kilobyte, so I don't really fucking care, but this is retarded. You got me tracking you all over to all these pages. I don't fucking look at it.
It's time to Toyota at Markville Toyota. Welcome to the family. Highway 7, just east of McCowan.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicting the price will not change at midnight, holding steady at $1.15.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather up in a minute. 680 News Time, 8:10.
If you've been waiting for the right time to buy new furniture, this is the time, and Aero Furniture is the place. Don't miss the Aero Furniture pre-Black Friday sale this week only.
Pre-Black Friday.
Amazing anniversary specials and up to
Pre-Black. What is
50% off
pre-Black?
on furniture. And don't pay the tax on anything else store-wide. Or don't pay until 2021.
Bill
Don't
pay
miss Aero
you to
Furniture's
a bank. I
pre-Black
don't have an
Friday sale
account
at
with
all
it.
4 locations in the GTA. On now till Sunday only. Find out more at aerofurniture.com. That's aerofurniture.com.
Rising 47 stories above church in Adelaide comes a building that can only be described as remarkable. Introducing The Saint from Minto Communities. The Saint takes its place alongside Toronto's most iconic buildings. Find your center. Register at thesaintcondos.com. Minto Communities.
680 News Time, 8:11. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by the Ontario Society of Chiropodists. East and West 401 back up to speed. Not seeing any delays anywhere. We still have the McCowan ramps to and from the westbound 401 closed here for a police investigation. The northbound McCowan ramp definitely is closed. Southbound, reportedly, you can still get on. So southbound McCowan ramp to the highway, that is still open, but all the other ones are closed off. Northbound 400 construction at Mapleview, they've got the left lane closed. Seeing delays on the northbound DVP. Actually, it's back up to speed now. So it's just southbound DVP where we're seeing some volume from York Mills to south of Lawrence on and off again. Looks like it's rapidly clearing. Westbound QEW, we have a crash west of Brant. The left lane is blocked here. All the crews are on the scene, and we are seeing delays through this crash scene. Toronto-bound QEW, over top the Burlington Skyway, they've got 2 left lanes closed right now for construction, and it's causing delays across the entire Skyway. Thursday was World Diabetes Day. Ontario's foot specialists, or chiropodists, remind you to help prevent diabetic foot ulcers and amputations. Book a screening at ontariochiropodist.com. Your next report at 8:21, and with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
A frigid evening with wind chills into the minus double digits thanks to easterly winds gusting between 30 and 40 kilometers an hour. A spectacular Sunday for the Santa Claus parade. Plenty of sunshine, a high of 1. Still below seasonal, but Santa will love it, and hopefully you will too, better than where we were today. Monday, a high of 3, but we could see some showers into the afternoon. Tonight's overnight low is minus 5.
Downtown Toronto right now, partly cloudy, minus 2, with the wind chill, though, feeling like minus 9. Similar conditions over at Pearson International. 680 News Time, 8:13.
Hi, I'm Hugh Heron, president of Heathwood Homes. For over 40 years, we've been building beautifully master planned communities across the GTA, helping thousands of families feel home at last. The Heathwood tradition is rooted in family values and quality. We take pride in building homes known for their great design and luxury features. Visit heathwood.com and discover our new communities in Whitby, Kitchener, and Toronto. At Heathwood, you will be home at last.
1 killed in shooting near Oakwood and Vaughan.
Flight attendant reminding you nothing can replace family time.
Even if I like every photo my kids post?
It's not quite the same.
But I always comment and even use smiley emojis.
Why the fuck are you doing it?
What if I add gifts? Animated gifts.
Or You could take advantage of our family time promo and save up to 40% on South packages. Go to Transat.com or call your Marlin travel professional. Conditions apply. Transat. Vacation is calling.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy -2, feeling like -9. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Casey Taylor. Here are the top stories this hour. Hard moments this evening in Scarborough, where family and friends gathered to remember a toddler killed by a falling air conditioner earlier this week. 2-year-old Crystal died Monday. Her funeral will be held tomorrow. And a massive 5-alarm fire in Black Creek turns tragic after someone was found dead on an 8th-floor balcony. 700 residents currently out of a home after they were forced out by the flames, which also forced crews to indefinitely cut power to the building. 680 News Time, 8:15. Time now for 680 Sports from Sports.
What did you people do to this building? It's not even possible for a fire to go from one unit to another unless you do something you're not supposed to do.
And Mitch Marner, both teams starting. Their backup goaltenders yet in Pittsburgh. It's only one team that's come ready to play.
Over on the near side, don't they hold it off? Cahoon gets a shot.
I don't remember sharing this.
Joe Bowen with the call on Sportsnet 590. The Fan. That goal coming 52 seconds into the second frame. It's the Penguins all over the Maple Leafs, leading 3-0. Meantime, Moji Anunoby is in the starting 5 along with Fred VanVleet, Norm Powell, Marc Gasol, and Pascal Siakam as the Raptors close out their Western road trip in Dallas, taking on the Mavericks. Tip-off is set for just over 10 minutes from now. Back to the NHL, New Jersey facing Montreal, and the Canadiens open the scoring, but New Jersey threatening later in the frame.
Across they score! Gusev got a second chance at it. That time he buries it, and we're tied.
And both teams remain tied at 1 in the second. The Sabres and Senators tied 0-0 after 1. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Yeah, you all dressed? Oh, hey, would you mind taking it to the kitchen? It looks really heavy.
Well, it's a small pizza.
Could you, please?
All right. Hey, nice kitchen.
Yeah, I did the renos myself.
Really? Wow.
It's okay to be proud of your renos. Until Wednesday at Rona, save 20% on bathroom furniture, faucets, showers, and more. Plus, if you find an appliance at a lower price, we'll match it and take off 10%. Conditions apply. Some things just don't fit. Like a car that doesn't suit your lifestyle. That's why Toyota offers the fun-to-drive Corolla with available winter features like heated seats and heated side mirrors. Find the Toyota that's right for you. Lease the 2020 Corolla L for as low as $57 weekly at 2.99% APR for 52 months with $0 down, or finance at 0.49% APR for 36 months. Visit your local Ontario Toyota dealer or get your Toyota.ca. Some conditions apply.
680 News Time, 8:17. The Dutch version of Santa has arrived in the Netherlands in an annual children's
It's not the Dutch version, you moron. It was there first. Fucking idiot.
Black Pete.
Black Pete. Black Pete. Thank you.
White people often don blackface makeup to play the character in parades across the country.
Yes, they do.
Opponents say the depictions promote racist stereotypes, while supporters defend him as a traditional children's character. The nationally televised arrival parade happened amid tight security in the central city of Apeldoorn. For the first time, there were no Petes in full blackface at the official arrival. Organisers instead put smears on their faces to represent soot from chimneys they climbed down to deliver gifts to
That's
children.
not real. That's not real. That's not the fucking story, bro.
Peacefully protested in a park in The Hague, where blackface Petes formed part of the official parade.
Black Petes, not blackface. Although, we call white people paleface.
An American citizen alleged by Turkey to be an Islamic State member has returned to the U.S.
A government report obtained by the Associated Press indicates the man arrived Friday night at Dulles International Airport in Virginia, where federal authorities questioned him and inspected his electronic devices. The report says he was allowed to enter the country and was en route to visit relatives in Texas. Turkish media have identified the man as 39-year-old Mohammed Darwish B. Turkey deported him after he spent 5 days in no man's land between Turkey and Greece, where he'd asked to be sent. Turkey captured suspected Islamic State group members during its offensive in Syria and has been returning foreigners to their countries of origin. Ben Thomas, Washington.
More transcripts of closed-door depositions were released today in the impeachment inquiry into U.S. President Donald Trump. One transcript involves a White House staffer with first-hand knowledge of the July 25th phone call at the center of the inquiry.
Jennifer Williams, who listened in on the call, will testify publicly next week, along with Tim Morrison, a former White House official who also expressed concerns about the phone call. Williams recalled that the president of Ukraine mentioned Burisma, even though a rough transcript of the phone call later released by the White House only said a company. Morrison told lawmakers he knew immediately that the White House needed to restrict access to the call records, according to a transcript of his interview released Saturday. Ben Siegel, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
And the founder of the legendary Sourdough cocktail in Dawson City, Yukon, has poured his last glass of the famous whiskey and pickled human toe drink. 89-year-old Dick Stevenson, known as Captain Dick, died earlier this week in Whitehorse. The manager of the downtown hotel in Dawson City, where the sourdough cocktail is still served, says patrons at the Sourdough Saloon are mourning the loss.
Well, when I walked in the bar last night, it was quite a sad feeling that we lost somebody who really was important to the history of the place, and we were quite sad about it and wanted to honor him somehow. We're trying to figure out some way of doing that.
Lancaster says over the past 46 years, more than 93,000 people have become members of the Sourdough Cocktail Club, which involves letting a pickled big toe touch the drinker's lips while downing a shot of Yukon whiskey. 680 News Time, 8:20 traffic and weather up next.
People are signing up to fucking do that.
To bring beauty to life, your life. Welcome to Mountain View Heights,
an
oasis community in beautiful escarpment country, featuring modern singles in the heart of Waterdown. Nestled within a rich network of parks and trails, and featuring amenities and transit options, Waterdown is only 10 minutes from Oakville and offers savings of $300,000 to $600,000. Buy now. Only a few lots remain. Visit mountainviewheights.ca.
Oh man, I wore this one out.
Every day, Canadians are buying homes and getting the wrong mortgage rates. Important announcement. If you have a mortgage closing in the next 60 days, 2.38% 5-year fixed mortgage rates are available at butlermortgage.ca. No matter what you were told or what you signed, you can still switch to 2.38% 5-year fixed. No gimmicks, no fees. Standard mortgages at 2.38% 5-year fixed. To learn if you qualify, go to butlermortgage.ca now.
License number 12118, high ratio fixed rate, APR 2.39%.
680 News Time, 8:21. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Jack Astor's Restaurant. So all of our problems have cleared. Westbound 401 ramp to McCowan, that was closed for a police investigation, along with the northbound McCowan ramp to the highway. They have finished up work in this area, so you can now get on to the westbound 401 from McCowan and leave it as well. Northbound 400 construction at Mapleview, left lane is blocked. Just taking a look up there, and I'm not seeing any delays through this construction zone. Southbound on the 400, they're working through ESSA, no delays as well. They've got the left lane shut down. Southbound 404 DVP, looks like this is the last report where we'll talk about some delays. Things seem to be moving back up to speed here, but we were slowing down York Mills to south of Lawrence, but it's not too terrible through here. Just a slight slowdown. Westbound QEW is our scene of the only crash that was on the go, west of Brant. The left lane was blocked, but now it's off to the right shoulder, and everything is up to speed through here. Not seeing any delays. Where it is still very slow is over top the Burlington Skyway and the Toronto-bound QEW, where construction has closed the 2 left lanes. Very slow. Try one of Jack Astor's 11 new bowls and salads, handcrafted and packed with fresh ingredients, starting at just $10.97 only at Jack Astor's. Your next report is at 8:31, and with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Along with the winter jacket, you'll need all the winter accessories. It's frigid tonight with a wind chill around -10. We're clear overnight, and that sets the stage for a clear and sunny day tomorrow. Great news for the Santa Claus parade. Leaving in the morning, it'll be around -5, but +1 for parade time. That'll feel a bit better than where we were today. Here's the good news Monday. Temperature rises up to 3 degrees. The not so good news, cloud cover and the risk of showers ahead of a messy system on Tuesday. A rain-snow mix expected and a high on Tuesday of 4 degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -5.
Downtown Toronto right now, a partly cloudy sky, -2. Feeling though like -9. Similar conditions over at Pearson International. 680 News Time, 8:24.
Black Friday happens all November long, and now that's yes, Mississauga and Rexdale Hyundai. And here's Hyundai's hottest lineup sales.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
Now getting you ready for winter. It's a $500 winter tire credit on select models. And keeping your wallet happy, it's don't pay for 90 days on all.
It's an 1867-92 Looney. 27 years old. That shit barely got scratches on it, bro.
Celebrate Black Friday at Knob Body Mississauga and Rexdale Hyundai. See store for details. At 680 News, we know weather.
And we guarantee it.
If we're off by more than 3 degrees, we'll announce a lucky winner of our growing jazz jackpot.
Now, get more chances to win each month and vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in November for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for 2 to the Blue Bay Grand Esmeralda. Enjoy the lavish amenities and tropical gardens of this resort just outside of Playa del Carmen.
With 6 gourmet a la carte restaurants and multiple pools around the resort.
Enter the 680 News weather guarantee with Sunwing and the Blue Bay Grand Esmeralda
at 680news.com.
This portion of the news brought to you by the Seasons on Little Lake. And coming up in 60 seconds, the business report, 680 News Time, 8:25.
Home construction is underway at the Seasons on Little Lake in Midland. An idyllic 4-season lakeside community with exquisitely designed townhomes, perfect for first-time buyers, families, and those looking to downsize. All the convenience of urban life in a stunning natural setting. Visit now and choose your townhome from the mid-300s.
Urban life in a natural setting, man. You have like fake crack dealers and shit. You import bums and alcoholics to hang out.
Times tables. School's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to prepare kids for the future, their future. So we're updating it to give kids the tools they need to support positive mental health, develop real life skills, and prepare for what's next. So they're ready to rise to every test, during school and after. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey.
Yes, because the government's always done that,
Education for Tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
680 News Time,
They take more from our trust accounts per capita, but they spend less on us because that don't make no sense.
Tuesday marks Women's Entrepreneurship Day, and new data shows female entrepreneurs now account for 28% of all entrepreneurs in Canada. Now that figure sounds pretty good, Laura Diddick, Vice President and National Lead Women Entrepreneurs with the Business Development Bank of Canada.
But only 16% of those are majority women-owned. I mean, the good news is that over the past 40 years, the number of women entrepreneurs has quadrupled, and the number of women entrepreneurs is growing. They're starting businesses 3 times faster than men. But we still have a long way to go. I mean, ultimately, what we would love is to have about 50% of our entrepreneurs to be women entrepreneurs, obviously.
Because exactly mathematical equality is the key there.
Makes our economy stronger. I mean, research shows time and time again that
no matter if they're misogynists, as long as they got the right parts, it's all
more
good,
revenue
right?
and better innovation just overall.
And if the trend continues, the number of female and male entrepreneurs could reach parity by 2030. So I have to ask, what's holding women back?
They do not.
Yeah, but don't male entrepreneurs die younger?
They do just face different challenges. I mean, one is access to capital and financing. I mean, that's known. And we're trying to change that at BDC. And women start with smaller networks and role models, which can limit their access to business advisors and the capital that they need. Also, I mean, I think family economics, contribute to it.
Family
so the drive to do it all. I
economics.
mean, many women entrepreneurs
You just mixed up home economics with family studies, you fucking idiot.
And quite frankly, I think just there's unconscious biases that still exist, and they exist everywhere, and we just need to be more aware of them and to help women entrepreneurs.
Laura Diddick is with the BDC. And at the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're talking about serious money.
Hey, there's no time for jokes. If you want to make some cold hard cash this winter plowing snow, you need the SnowX 8100 Power Plow.
Tell us more, Bill.
This plow allows the operator to expand the plow width from 8 to 10 feet with the push of a button.
This plow's a wow!
And it'll carry 30% more snow than a straight blade plow.
Cash in on the SnowX 8100 Power Plow today with the Snow Pros at Cody Bros.
1919 Wilson Avenue.
And don't forget to bring your wallet.
Now is your best chance to experience the iconic performance and head-turning design of the Range Rover Sport or the Range Rover Velar. Discover unbelievable offers on our 2019 models. For a limited time, enjoy savings up to $4,000 on remaining 2019 Range Rover Velar models. Additional savings are also available on demonstrator vehicles. Visit your Greater Toronto Area Land Rover authorized retailer for details. Offers end December 2nd. Land Rover, above and beyond. Local news, weather, and traffic as it happens.
680 News.
Checking the business travelers forecast in Calgary. Clear sky and 5 degrees. Winnipeg, mostly cloudy, -2. Ottawa, clear and -8. Halifax, mostly cloudy, 0 degrees. Looking south of the border, LA, clear sky, 18 degrees. Las Vegas, clear and 19. Dallas, clear, 13 degrees. Downtown Toronto right now, a few clouds, -4 with the wind chill, though, -12. 680 News Time, 8:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Saturday, November the 16th. I'm Eden Tababa.
And I'm Casey Taylor. Here's what's making news this hour.
For the first time ever, Ron MacLean ran solo on tonight's Hockey Night in Canada broadcast.
Just 2 years old, a vigil was held Saturday afternoon in Scarborough for Crystal, the girl who lost her life after being hit by an air conditioner earlier in the week.
The body located this morning after a 5-alarm
stop calling it a fucking accident. You stop calling it an accident.
And displaced residents will be relocated.
It's like all these drunk driving accidents.
Controversial rapper had
with all the drunk driving accidents.
Unconventional venue.
Things going from bad to worse for the Maple Leafs in Pittsburgh, especially for Casimir Kaskisuo. OG Anunoby in the starting lineup as we're about to tip off with the Raptors in Dallas. Sports at 45.
And coming up in business, with the rise of app-based food delivery programs, we'll hear about an Ontario company doing the behind-the-scenes tech work, making sure the items are delivered on time and improving the customer experience.
680 News Time, 8:31.
Now time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig here.
This report is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Barrie. Well, it's not a terrible drive out there anyway, unless you're on the Toronto-bound QEW on top of the Burlington Skyway. 2 left lanes are closed right now for construction, and that's why we're seeing some delays. On the westbound Gardner through the construction stretches DVP to York. It's down to 2 lanes, as you know, but it's just a little slow as you come off of the DVP until just west of Cherry, and then you're back up to speed for the rest of it. Otherwise, it's in good shape. Northbound 400, construction at Mapleview. The left lane's blocked. Southbound 400, we have construction in the left lane at Essa. This month at Mercedes-Benz Barrie, they're covering the first 3 lease payments, OAC, on all their most popular models. It's the winter sales event. For details, visit mbbarrie.com. Your next report is at 8:41, and with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Still over a month until the official start of winter, but it sure feels like winter has already arrived. Wind chill this evening around -10, so bundle up. And then Sunday, plenty of sunshine for the Santa Claus parade. We will wake up to a chilly morning, -5, feeling like -10, but into the afternoon, +1. Overnight, we are clear, and the low is -5.
Downtown Toronto right now, a few clouds, -4, but with that wind chill, it does feel like -12. Similar conditions over at Pearson International. 680 News Time, 8:32.
Breaking news from the world of hockey. A solemn introduction to Canada's favorite intermission tonight, as we heard from a Ron MacLean addressing the country following the Don Cherry controversy.
Welcome to our first intermission. You know the story. The coach's corner is no more.
MacLean breaks down the events that led up to Cherry's controversial comments and explains the thought process behind his apology.
There were steps that needed to be taken because of what had been said by Don, and he didn't want to do those steps. So he made his choice, and I made mine, and then the next choice, which was a really hard choice.
He's not a tame robot.
Sleepless nights all week are mostly about this. Don's my guy. I'm in a foxhole with Don, and I've decided to go one way and he another. And you say, okay, how can you choose principle over friendship? But I had to.
In a release, Sportsnet says they may take the long-running segment in a different direction moving forward.
This is 680 News. It was a tough afternoon in Scarborough as family, friends, and the community gathered for a candlelight vigil. It was to remember a 2-year-old girl killed this week when she was hit by a falling window air conditioner.
Friends, family, and members of the community continue to mourn the loss of 2-year-old Crystal after she was hit by a falling air conditioner earlier in the week. Dozens gathered in Scarborough Saturday afternoon, bringing pictures, stuffed animals, and flowers, and sharing their memories of Crystal, including her cousin Kasim.
She would play hide and seek with me, and little things that little girls do, right? Silly things, cute things. Always, I said, always smiling, always had positive spirit.
A Toronto Community Housing spokesperson said the air conditioning units are a safety issue and says tenants can swap out their window units for floor models for free. The family's lawyers, meanwhile, continue to see.
That's your solution. You're not going to charge the asshole that took the thing apart and let it fall out the window. You're going to fucking replace everybody's.
Toronto Fire Chief Matthew Pegg says the death of a person found on a balcony on the 8th floor of a high-rise in North York is no longer considered suspicious. Officials were called to a 5-alarm fire in the city's Black Creek neighborhood last night that saw almost 100 firefighters on scene.
Toronto Fire Chief Matthew Pegg says the dead body found on a balcony on the 8th floor of a high-rise in North York is no longer considered suspicious. Officials were called to the 5-alarm fire in the city's Black Creek neighborhood last night that saw almost 100 firefighters on scene.
Unfortunately, given the heavy flames and the circumstances in the unit of origin and a couple in the vicinity, we simply were not able to get into those suites until such time as the crews had suppressed the fire.
700 other residents have since been displaced. Many are currently being housed in the Driftwood Community Center, but starting tomorrow, they will be relocated to York University. The Red Cross is
the university is equipped for that,
to volunteer their time or to donate money rather than items. I'm Brittany Dooley.
These are fucking geniuses.
Toronto foodies are lining up around the block. The popular Italian food marketplace Eataly opened downtown this past week with its first Canadian location. 680's Richard Southern has more.
It's called Eataly. A foodie experience like no other. It has opened in the Manulife Center. It's a massive 50,000 square feet over 3 floors. It's like an Italian food court on steroids. Basically, an indoor market with stalls making and selling authentic Italian food. Everything from fresh-made pasta to fresh-baked focaccia. There's an authentic Italian cafe, 2 sit-down restaurants, even a cooking school. It employs 450 people. It's big, impressive, but also expensive. Is it what Toronto needs right now? Mayor John Tory.
I'm not about to start saying that we don't want investment. We're going to turn away hundreds of jobs and turn away an attraction that I think is going to be great for tourists and people who live here.
You'll admit it is only for a certain clientele, though, right, Mayor?
There are all kinds of stores that appeal to all kinds of people, and that's what Toronto's all about.
Be prepared for big lines if you want to check out Eataly. Richard Southern, 680 News.
680 News Time, 8:36. In less than 24 hours, Old St. Nick himself will be rolling down the streets of Toronto for the annual Santa Claus Parade. 680's Kyle Hawking is here with a look at the new route and how to get to it.
Don't worry about that racist Dutch shit. There won't be no black people in this parade. Just
the first Santa Claus parade
you got it covered here. Don't worry.
And in those days, they actually imported live reindeer from Labrador to pull Santa's sleigh. This year's parade has a new route. It gets started at Bloor and Parliament at 12:30, traveling west on Bloor, south on Avenue Road, down to Wellington, and then east over to Yonge, south along Yonge to Front Street, and once again east over to St. Lawrence Market. 2.5 hours is what it'll take to get by you, the whole thing, if you're standing in one place. Make sure you take transit to get downtown if you're planning on viewing the parade, and get there early as spots along the parade route fill up quickly. Number of TTC stations along the route will get you there. You can also take GO Transit into Union Station, then it's just a short walk to the route. I'm Kyle Hawking.
The annual Provincial Holiday Ride campaign kicked off this past week, and this year's theme is Aim for Zero. 680's Irene Precklett has more.
You can't take it back. That's the message from Ann Letter, the president of Arrive Alive, Drive Sober. She says driving impaired isn't just about getting a ticket or losing your license. You could kill or seriously injure someone. This year's ride theme is Aim for Zero.
So if you are the designated driver, don't drink anything, because once you have one drink won't make you the worst driver in the world, but it will make you bad at judging whether or not you're okay to have another.
You just justify it.
Aim for zero. The designated driver has nothing to drink at all.
Her tips include plan ahead. Things like how are you going to get home after a party, and if you're hosting a party, have people stay over. I'm Irene Precklett.
This is 680 News at 8:38. Kanye West has followed the Johnny Cash route and performed for inmates at a Houston jail. The star rapper turned gospel singer performed songs today from his new gospel album, Jesus is King. He and his choir performed for more than 200 male inmates at one jail facility before crossing the street to another jail facility and performing for a smaller crowd of females. Still to come on 680 News, Traffic and weather together on the ones. 680 News time, 8:39.
Tap your toes to the no-tax stylings of Robert Lowry's Piano Experts. Today and tomorrow, pay no tax during Robert Lowry's Piano Experts no-tax clearance sale. Choose from over 200 in-stock pianos. 2 days only, plenty of free parking. Go to pianoexperts.com.
Now the 680 News gas price update. April predicts the price of gas will not change at midnight, holding at $1.15.9 a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News. Time 8:40.
Paul Cook and Catherine Today.
Weekday mornings starting at 5:30.
This is 680 News.
I'm Scott McGilvery. When it comes to real estate, I only recommend top agents. In Toronto, that's Frank Leo and Associates at Remax
I'm looking
West.
for a shitty
Frank
agent,
is a multi-million-dollar marketing system that will get your home sold, guaranteed. Go to getleo.com and start packing.
Northwood Mortgage people work harder to find solutions just for you. One example, Northwood regularly helps families get into new homes after the bank has turned them down. Unlike the big banks, Northwood Mortgage is more flexible. Northwood Mortgage listens and works harder to create a solution that's customized for you. Northwood Mortgage. Visit northwoodmortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
License 10349.
You'll always be the first to know.
Breaking news when it happens.
680 News.
Want to sell your home without drama? Call Frank Leo and Associates at Remax West. I'm Scott McGilvery, and I trust
No,
Frank's
I want lots of
world-class
drama. I want to make more money off the videos of the drama than I make off of selling a house.
Get your home sold. Go to getleo.com today.
680 News time, 8:41. Now time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Lexus Dealers Association. Just off the phone with the traffic spotter, giving us the heads up that on the eastbound 401 east of Harmony, we have multiple lanes blocked here after a crash, and we're starting
how
to
did
see
that
some
change
delays.
3 fucking times in a row? I
He
don't
was
want
thinking
filters in my
all
photos.
lanes could be blocked here on the eastbound 401 because of this crash. He was traveling westbound,
Why
and
the
just saw
fuck would I
the
want
backup
filters in my photos?
happening,
Why
and
did I
doesn't
take the
look like any
fucking photo
crews
if
are
I
on the
want a
scene
filter
yet
on
of this
Fuck
collision.
Roman.
So eastbound on the 401, if you're in this area,
Make
just
them
east
all
of
look the
Harmony,
same.
and you're getting
That's
by
the
this
definition
crash,
right
let me know,
there,
star
Momo
680.
shit.
Let me know what lanes are affected, as MTO is not on the scene yet, and this apparently has just happened. Other delays, Toronto-bound QEW overtopped the Burlington Skyway. It's because of construction tonight. 2 left lanes are blocked here. Northbound 400 at Maple View, the left lane is closed for maintenance. No delay. South 400, no delay here either. It's through ESSA, and the left lane is blocked for maintenance. Lease a 2020 Lexus RX 350 for as low as 2.9% APR with delivery credits up to $2,000. Visit your Toronto area Lexus dealer. Your next report is at 8:51. And with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Dress like it's midwinter before heading out the door tonight. It's bitterly cold with wind chills into the minus double digits thanks to a gusty wind off of Lake Ontario. Great weather for the Santa Claus parade on Sunday, though. A high of 1 and lots of sunshine. Monday, the high is 3, but grab the umbrella. Slight chance of some showers into the afternoon. Tonight's overnight low is -5. Right now in downtown Toronto, a few clouds -4, but feeling like -12 with the wind chill. And at Pearson Airport, partly cloudy -3, feeling like -10. Police have identified the victim of a last night's fatal shooting at Oakwood and Vaughan. Police received several reports of gunshots being fired just after 1:30 this morning in the area of Oakwood Avenue and Vaughan Road. The victim has been identified by police as 42-year-old Craig Campbell of Toronto. Paramedics rushed him to a trauma center through an emergency run. He was without vital signs and was pronounced dead in hospital. Homicide detectives are now investigating. A dark-colored SUV was spotted fleeing the area, and anyone with security camera video or dash cam footage is urged to come forward.
What about cell phone footage?
680
You
News
didn't
has
say
been
cell
charged
phone
in connection
footage.
with a shooting at a high school football game. 680 News time, 8:43.
Being right matters.
So if our weather forecast is off by more than 3 degrees,
You could win cash.
details at 680news.com.
What does your dream home look like? Hi, I'm Jeannie Becker, and for over 50 years, Georgian Renovations has been designing spaces you'll love. We know how hard it is making a decision to renovate, so for a limited time only, we're offering our interior design services for the incredible value of $5,000. See your vision come to life before you decide on your renovation, and buy with confidence, knowing exactly what your dream home will look like. Schedule your design consultation today at georgianreno.com.
RedTag.ca. Looking for the best winter vacation deals? Save big with RedTag.ca on destinations in the Caribbean, Mexico, or even Europe. Plus, enjoy savings on cruise getaways.
Again, no filter, bitch. Stop changing what's happening on.
Miles on vacation packages. More travel, more savings.
Bad enough
Plan
to compress
your
my
winter
shit.
getaway today. So restrictions apply. RedTag.ca. This is All News Radio, 680 News.
A few clouds and -4 degrees in downtown Toronto. Good evening. From the 680 News Broadcast Center, I'm Eden Deveva, and here are the top stories this hour. Ron McLean addressed Don Cherry's dismissal during the first intermission of tonight's Hockey Night in Canada broadcast. Calling it the end of an era, McLean opened the show by addressing the mixed emotions surrounding Cherry's firing. And the community gathered in Scarborough this evening to mourn the life of a toddler killed earlier this week. 2-year-old Crystal was being pushed in her stroller by a mother when the appliance fell from the 8th floor of a Toronto community housing building. And coming up after sports, you get your eyes from your mom, nose from your dad, and now a new study says that having a taste for veggies could be in your genes. 680 News Time, 8:45. Now,
everything white people do is passed on genetically. Everything we do isn't. That's
last time we updated you, the Maple Leafs were
sickle cell. I just woke up one day and decided to try on sickle cell. Black people were doing it.
Launched in over the line, nowhere near anyone. Brought back the other way by Simone into the slot area, and a shot scores!
Joe Bowen with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Lots of that in the second period. Jason Spence's second of the season. The lone tally for the Maple Leafs right now, they are trailing 5-1 late in the second. You can watch on Sportsnet. Meantime, the Raptors in Dallas facing the Mavericks and OG Anunoby in the starting lineup after missing the team's last game in Portland. They have just tipped off in Dallas, and the Raptors ahead 10-3 at last check. Back to the NHL in Buffalo, the red-hot Ottawa Senators, winners of 4 of their last 5, taking on the Sabres, who are trying to snap a 6-game losing streak, and Jack Eichel has got the Sabres in front.
Got it up the center, left there for Olsen. Olsen got to...
Eichel getting the Sabres the lead. They are up 2-1 late in the second on Sportsnet 1. While the Canadians have just gone in front of the New Jersey Devils 2-1. That game also late in the second. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590. The Fans.
680 News Time, 8:47.
Need more dough for your bakery? ThinkingCapital.ca/radio. Want to give your beauty salon a makeover?
ThinkingCapital.ca/radio.
Does your auto shop need a boost?
ThinkingCapital.ca/radio.
Whatever small business you run, they can help. Apply for a small business loan today at ThinkingCapital.ca/radio. You could receive up to $300,000 in as little as 24 hours.
ThinkingCapital.ca/radio?
It's just that easy.
It's here, the Swap Your Ride sales event at Aaronwood Ford, where everybody saves an extra $1,000. We have hundreds of cars and trucks priced to clear. Skip the showroom and buy online at AaronwoodFord.com. Aaronwood's online buying tools makes it so easy. Buy your car online today. Aaronwood Ford.
What are you doing? Like, seriously, I would like to do one thing here and
save another $1,000. And remember, we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. Do you hate eating vegetables? Well, it might not be your fault. Scientists in the U.S. say that some people are genetically wired to avoid certain veggies, and the new study shows that some people have 2 copies of a gene that provides a bitterness to foods like broccoli and sprouts. Scientists studied 175 people and found those with 2 copies of the gene ate only small amounts of leafy green veggies, and the gene may also have an effect on the taste of beer, coffee, and dark chocolate. News from the States now. 5 men have been charged in connection with a shooting at a high school football game in New Jersey that left 3 people wounded. The shooting happened at around 8:30 p.m. local time last night during the third quarter of a playoffs game between the Camden Panthers and the Pleasantville Greyhounds. Football player Keon Henry managed to escape injury and says it was a scary situation.
We just saw everybody from the crowd running, so that's when the whole football team, so coach was telling us get down, but we didn't want to get down, we wanted to get somewhere safe inside the school.
A 10-year-old boy is now in critical condition, and a 15-year-old boy was treated for a graze. One of 2 American soldiers that U.S. President Donald Trump granted clemency to have now been released from prison.
Army Lieutenant Clint Lawrence, who had served close to 7 years of a 19-year sentence at the U.S. military prison at Fort Leavenworth, was released on Friday night after President Trump issued a pardon in his case. Lawrence was reunited with family members shortly afterwards. An advocate for his release confirmed to ABC News. He had been convicted on 2 counts of second-degree murder for ordering a soldier to fire on unarmed motorcyclists during a deployment to Afghanistan. Will Martinez, ABC News, Washington.
And U.S. President Donald Trump has made a trip to Walter Reed National Medical Center in Washington.
The White House says he's undergoing tests as part of his annual physical. The appointment wasn't on the president's public schedule for the weekend, but Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham says the 73-year-old Trump is anticipating a very busy 2020 and wanted to take advantage of a free weekend in Washington to begin portions of his routine checkup. Trump's last physical was in February. It showed he'd put on some pounds and was now officially considered obese. He weighed 243 pounds, measured 6 feet 3 inches tall, and had a body mass index of 30.4. In Thomas, Washington.
Coming up in just 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones. 680 News Time, 8:50.
Point A to point B, factory to family, grocery to table, person to person. At Radiant Canada, logistics is more than shipping and storage. It's about people. One dedicated team. From road to rail, ocean shipping to pick and pack warehousing. We call it People First Logistics, and you'll find it at radiantdelivers.ca. Radiant Canada, driven by people, delivering results.
Did you know there's a fast way to send money abroad? It's called Xoom. 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 The money transfer app from PayPal that lets you send money
PayPal has their own app. I don't
at amazing
understand
rates. Send money directly to bank accounts or for cash pickup at thousands of locations around the world. Don't go to the store and wait in line to send money. Download the Xoom app today and send money right from your phone. Money go Xoom.
680 News Time, 8:51. Now time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Audi Oakville. So we're seeing some delays on the eastbound 401. Just east of Harmony, we have some lanes blocked here for a crash. So it's starting to back up through here. On the westbound 401, looks like we have a crash approaching Brock Street now. We're seeing some delays here. Some lanes are blocked, but these are fresh collisions. So MTO isn't on the scene yet. If you are, star 680, let me know what's going on. Toronto-bound QEW over top the Burlington Skyway, 2 left lanes of construction. It's a very slow drive, and that pretty much does it for the delays. If you're traveling northbound on the 400, we have construction at Maple View, left lane blocked. Southbound 400, it's through ESSA, and a left lane is blocked as well.
Shit.
Right now at Audi Oakville, Lisa, 2019
Sudbury
Audi
CTV reporter charged for
348
child pornography
at
offenses.
1.98% with $6,588 down. Plus, get a $3,000 Audi event credit. Details at AudiOakville.com. Your next report is at 9:01, and with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Bitterly cold tonight. Evening temperatures well below the freezing mark. The wind chill making it feel around -10. But we are going to have a nice day tomorrow. That's some great news for the Santa Claus parade. We have sunshine and a high of 1, but still below seasonal. That'll feel a bit better, though, than where we were today. Monday, temperatures do rise to 3 degrees, but you'll need to bring the rain gear. There is the risk of some showers into the afternoon. That's part of a system that's going to bring us a messy mix on Tuesday. The high on Tuesday, still below seasonal at 4 degrees. Tonight's overnight low is -5.
Right now in downtown Toronto, few clouds, -4, but feeling like -12 with the wind chill. And at Pearson Airport, cloudy, -3, feeling like -10.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Sun Life. Did you know 1 in 3 Canadians has diabetes or pre-diabetes? Sun Life's health experts have great advice on preventing or managing this disease so you can live healthier.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll have details on the first hockey night in Canada broadcast since the firing of Don Cherry. 680 News Time, 8:53.
Existing alarm systems or new installations, the Monitoring Center does it all for the lowest monthly rates in the country. Switch your alarm from your current provider or allow one of our qualified technicians to install a new customizable security system for you. Call the Monitoring Center today. Think security? Think the Monitoring Center. Why? Because we care.
1-866-24-7 or $9.99. 1-866-24-7 or $9.99.
Honesty is our only policy.
680 News.
Bullshit.
A large study finds that people with stable heart
Catch you in
disease
lies
from
every
clogged
day.
arteries may have less chest pain if they get a procedure to improve blood flow. That's rather than just giving medicines a chance to help. However, it won't cut their risk of having a heart attack or dying over the next few years. Results were released at a conference in Philadelphia. They're now suggesting that thousands of costly stent procedures and
Still gonna
bypass
die, but you'll feel
operations
better.
each year are
Oh, fuck.
unnecessary or premature for people with stable disease. And in some local news, if you plan on using the subway today, there is a subway line closure that could impact your travels on Line 1. The TTC says there's no service on Line 1 between St. Clair West and King stations because of signal upgrades.
Young University
Shuttle
Spadina
buses
line.
and Go Transit services are running. DuPont Station is closed, but all other stations will remain open for fare sales. Regular service is set to resume by tomorrow. You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. Coming up in just 60 seconds, our weekend business report. 680 News Time, 8:55.
When you need to know, now.
680news.com.
Hey, Dad, I'm just reading here that the flu can be pretty serious for seniors.
Good thing I got a flu shot. High dose, actually. It's 24% more effective than Fluzone standard dose. Your senior dad stays on top
Higher
of
dose ain't gonna do shit, eh?
High dose
That
is
don't
now
even make
covered in
sense.
Ontario and free for adults 65
It's not
plus. Get the
antibiotics.
high
It's
dose
not gonna
vaccine
fucking go.
only in doctors'
That doesn't
clinics.
even make
Contact
sense.
your doctor and make an appointment.
Vaccination does not provide 100% protection.
No
Side effects
shit.
and allergic reactions may occur. Talk to your doctor to see if this vaccine is right
Side
for you or visit
effects and allergic
fluzone.ca.
reactions. Are you allergic to formaldehyde? Are you allergic to mercury? Because I
High
am.
dose, actually. My doctor recommends high dose because it's 24%
How about
more
eggs
effective
with
than
fucking
Fluzone
mold
standard
growing
dose.
on them on
Your
purpose?
senior mom
Yeah.
is smarter
I'm
than you
allergic
think.
to
High dose is now covered in Ontario and free for adults 65 plus. Get the high dose vaccine only in doctors' clinics. Contact your doctor and make an appointment.
Vaccination does not provide 100% protection. Side effects and allergic reactions may occur. Talk to your doctor to see if this vaccine is right for you or visit fluzone.ca.
680 News Time, 8:56. Now time for the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
Unlike Apple, with more people relying on app-based food delivery programs, we have seen an exponential rise in the number of delivery services and restaurants relying on those programs to get the items to the door on time and ready to eat. Supporting many of those apps with behind-the-scenes support technology is Mississauga-based Sodi, a company now boasting more than 1,000 employees. Ryan Weber is the VP of Enterprise Mobility at Sodi.
Sodi provides our customers the ability to remotely manage their mobile devices. It's a software platform that ensures that our customers that use mobile technology to ensure that it's up and running at all times. Foodora, you probably be familiar with them, with the people delivering the food with the pink backpacks. What Sodi does is is the backbone of the mobile technology to make sure that when the deliveries are made, that they're warm and fresh for the customers.
Weber says that Sodi is currently supporting 18,000 customers worldwide with a growth rate for mobility delivery programs, one of the fastest right now in the tech space.
I mean, if you look at the U.S., a good indicator of trends in Canada, Morgan Stanley projects that roughly 40% of $220 billion of total restaurant sales will go online by 2020, growing at a rapid pace.
And what is it that the app operators are looking for?
They need to be able to leverage mobile technology to ensure that when the deliveries are made, that they're made on time. So there is a reliance to ensure that the mobile technology is working at all time. And the Sodi One platform provides the insurance that these home delivery companies can make sure that the devices are up and running and that the deliveries can be made prompt and on time.
That's Ryan Weber of Sodi. And at the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
Getting you where you need to go
Faster.
The most traffic in Toronto. 680 News.
There are 7,884,000 seconds in winter. You could wait, counting down.
Every last one.
Or you could take advantage of unparalleled luxury and the advanced capability of Lexus all-wheel drive to experience everything that winter has to offer.
Lease a 2020 Lexus NX 300 for as low as 1.9% APR with delivery credits of up to $3,500. Visit LexusGTA.ca or your Toronto area Lexus dealer for details.
Rexall can help make father-daughter shopping more rewarding.
Oh, hey, Dad, look, it's bonus air miles weekend. 100 bonus miles when you spend $70. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, too bad we're only here to pick up deodorant and toothpaste, because I do love my bonus miles.
Well, if you kindly follow me to the makeup aisle, I'm sure I can get us the $70 in no time.
This Friday to Sunday, get 100 air miles bonus miles when you spend $70 or more. Or get 60 bonus miles when you spend $50 or more. Visit Rexall.ca for details.
Smart people
With smart speakers,
always listen to
Alexa, play 680 News.
Playing 680 News.
Now time for the regional weather forecast. In Aurora, partly cloudy, -8 degrees. Brampton, mostly cloudy and -5. Over in Cambridge, clear skies, -6 degrees. Kitchener, clear and -7. Markham, seeing some cloud cover, -6 degrees. Mississauga, mostly cloudy and -3. And over in Oakville, mostly cloudy and -2. Right now in downtown Toronto, a few clouds, -4, but feeling more like -12 with the wind chill. This is CFTR 680 News, part of the free Radio Player Canada app. Download the free app today. It's where Canadian radio plays. The News Watch never stops. 680 News Time, 9 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Good evening. This is Saturday, November 16th. I'm Casey Taylor.
And I'm Eden Tababa. Here's what's making news this hour.
The end of Ron and Don on Coach's Corner in the first broadcast since Don Cherry was fired. Ron McLean speaks directly to the country and to Don himself. Trying to make sense of tragedy. Family and friends of the 2-year-old girl who died after being hit by an air conditioner gather in Scarborough for a vigil Saturday afternoon.
The body located this morning after a 5-alarm high-rise fire in North York is no longer deemed suspicious, and displaced residents will be relocated.
It's that time of year again, holiday party season. Police also letting drivers know they are out there with the Holiday Ride campaign.
A big mountain for the Maple Leafs to overcome entering the third in Pittsburgh, while the Raptors allow a 13-0 run in the first quarter and are trailing in Dallas. Sports at 15.
And coming up in business, employers are well aware that workplace benefit fraud is a growing concern. We take a closer look at some of the myths and misconceptions.
680 News Time, 9:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
A few issues and slowdowns out there. This report brought to you by OFX Global Money Transfers. So we have a crash on the eastbound 401 east to Harmony. The right lane is blocked now, reported by the OPP. So slight delays as you make your way from, it's actually back from Harmony now, but it's not too bad. Westbound 401 approaching Brock Street. We're down to a single lane here for construction, traffic spotters are saying, and it's backed up on the west 401 from Dixon through here. More delays because of construction on the Toronto-bound QEW over top the Burlington Skyway. 2 left lanes of maintenance happening, and we are seeing delays. A couple of other construction areas, but it's not causing any issues. They're both on the 400 northbound at Mapleview. Left lane's gone. Southbound through Essa. Left lane's gone through here. OFX are global money transfer specialists from businesses selling globally to individuals investing overseas. Transact across borders with confidence. It's how the world moves money. More at OFX.com. Your next report is at 9:11, and with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
A frigid evening with a wind chill around -10. Just dress like it's mid-January, and that should keep you warm enough. Sunday, plenty of sunshine for the Santa Claus
I've seen January's always 10 fucking degrees. What the fuck? Wearing t-shirts and shit. What the fuck are you people talking about?
So we'll take it. Overnight clear.
You think I'm joking,
and the low is -5.
Right now in downtown Toronto, a few clouds, -4, feeling like -12, and over up here's an airport, -3, feeling like -10. 680 News Time, 9:03.
Hockey night in Canada's first intermission took on a very different look this evening, officially marking the end of an era. No more Don Cherry. Sportsnet parted ways with Cherry last week after seeming to suggest in a rant new Canadians aren't buying poppies and showing respect to our veterans. Tonight's first intermission segment starting cold with no music, just as somber Ron MacLean almost eulogizing the end of Coach's Corner and speaking directly to his former co-host.
You know, I love you so much, and you always say you spoke like a 32-year-old American Hockey League player. You were always the captain, the leader of your hockey teams the coach could count on to take care of the troublemaker. You taught me to be that guy, and so here I am, sort of standing up and taking this position. But that doesn't mean anything in terms of my respect for you or my judgment of you.
Instead of the usual Ron and Don banter, the network chose instead to highlight 2019 Hockey Hall of Fame inductees. The induction ceremony is set for Monday.
680 News Time, 9:04. A tough afternoon in Scarborough as family, friends, and the community gathered for a candlelight vigil to remember a 2-year-old girl killed this week when she was hit by a falling window air conditioner. 680's Ken Dora joins us now with more on the heartbreaking start to the holidays.
Friends, family, and members of the community continue to mourn the loss of 2-year-old Crystal after she was hit by a falling air conditioner earlier in the week. Dozens gathered in Scarborough Saturday afternoon, bringing pictures, stuffed animals, and flowers, and sharing their memories of Crystal, including her cousin Kasim.
Play hide and seek with me, and little things that little girls do, right? Silly things, cute things. Always, as I said, always smiling, always had positive spirit.
A Toronto Community Housing spokesperson said the air conditioning units are a safety issue and says tenants can swap out their window units for floor models for free. The family's lawyers, meanwhile, continue to see if TCHC is negligible. I'm Cam Doritz.
680 News Time, 9:05. Toronto Fire Chief Matthew Pegg says the death of a person found on a balcony on the 8th floor of a high-rise in North York is no longer considered suspicious. Officials were called to a 5-alarm fire in the city's Black Creek neighborhood last night that saw almost 100 firefighters on scene.
Got the fucking defect.
Toronto Fire Chief Matthew Pegg says the dead body found on a balcony on the 8th floor of a high-rise in North York is no longer considered suspicious. Officials were called to the 5-alarm fire in the city's Black Creek neighborhood last night that saw almost 100 firefighters on scene.
Unfortunately, given the heavy flames and the circumstances in the unit of origin and a couple in the vicinity, we simply were not able to get into those suites until such time as the crews had suppressed the fire.
700 other residents have since been displaced. Many are currently being housed in the Driftwood Community Center, but starting tomorrow, they will be relocated to York University. The Red Cross is asking for those interested in helping to volunteer their time or to donate money rather than items. I'm Brittany Dooley.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News at 9:06. This portion of the news brought to you by Alpine Credits. Canadian National Railway employees have given strike notice ahead of a Tuesday deadline. The union, which
just reported
3,200 workers,
the cargo
the
volumes are
72-hour
dropping.
notice today as contract negotiations continue over the weekend. The
You don't have enough money?
Canada Rail Conference warned in October
Teamsters. You ain't got enough money?
job
Seriously?
action after over 6 months of unsuccessful talks. The workers, who are mostly located in major urban centers across the country, have been without a contract since July 23rd. Metrolink says they don't think a strike will affect GO Transit.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. Toronto foodies now have their own Eataly. The popular Italian food marketplace opened downtown this past week with its first Canadian location. 680's Richard Southern has more.
It's called Eataly, a foodie experience like no other. It has opened in the Manulife Center. It's a massive 50,000 square feet over 3 floors. It's like an Italian food court on steroids. Basically an indoor market with stalls making and selling authentic Italian food. Everything from fresh-made pasta to fresh-baked focaccia. There's an authentic Italian cafe, 2 sit-down restaurants, even a cooking school. It employs 450 people. It's big, impressive, but also expensive. Is it what Toronto needs right now? Mayor John Tory.
I'm not about to start saying that we don't want investment. We're going to turn away hundreds of jobs and turn away an attraction that I think is going to be great for tourists and people who live here.
You'll admit it is only for a certain clientele, though, right, Mayor?
There are all kinds of stores that appeal to all kinds of people, and that's what Toronto's all about.
Be prepared for big lines if you want to check out Eataly. Richard Southern, 680 News.
680 News Time at 9:07. The annual provincial holiday ride campaign kicked off this past week, and this year's theme is Aim for Zero. 680's Irene Precklett with more.
You can't take it back. That's the message from Ann Letter, the president of Arrive Alive, Drive Sober. She says driving impaired isn't just about getting a ticket or losing your license. You could kill or seriously injure someone. This year's ride theme is Aim for Zero.
So if you are the designated driver, don't drink anything, because once you have one drink won't make you the worst driver in the world, but it will make you bad at judging whether or not you're okay to have another or you're okay to drive. So aim for zero. The designated driver has nothing to drink at all.
Her tips include plan ahead. Things like how are you going to get home after a party? And if you're hosting a party, have people stay over. I'm Irene Precklett.
In less than 24 hours, Old St. Nick himself will be rolling down the streets of Toronto for the annual Santa Claus Parade. 680's Kyle Hawking is here with a look at the new route and how to get to it.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, running down Santa Claus Lane.
The first Santa Claus Parade, 1913, and in those days they actually imported live reindeer from Labrador to pull Santa's sleigh. This year's parade has a new route. It gets started at Bloor and Parliament at 12:30, traveling west on Bloor, south on Avenue Road, down to Wellington, and then east over to Yonge, south along Yonge to Front Street, and once again east over to St. Lawrence Market. 2.5 hours is what it'll take to get by you, the whole thing, if you're standing in one place. Make sure you take transit to get downtown if you're planning on viewing the parade, and get there early as spots along the parade route fill up quickly. Number of TTC stations along the route will get you there. You can also take GO Transit into Union Station, then it's just a short walk to the route. I'm Kyle Hawking. Coming up in 30 seconds, we will check the price at the pump. 680 News Time, 9:09.
Paul Cook and Catherine Chute.
Weekday mornings starting at 5:30.
This is 680 News.
Hello, Alpine Credits.
Hi, I own my home. I need money for approved.
Wait, that was mine.
Approved.
Hey!
Approved.
You own your home, so you are
approved.
Please stop.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just...
Approved.
Oh, you got me. So I'm...
Approved.
At Alpine Credits, we try to approve all home equity loan applications, regardless of your credit, age, or income. Find out more at alpinecredits.ca. Alpine Credits. Homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616 and 12617.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Pro predicts the price will not change at midnight, holding steady at $1.15.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Coming up in just 1 minute, traffic and weather together. 680 News Time, 9:10.
As the preferred choice of Canadian optometrists for vision correction procedures, TLC Laser Eye Centers puts your life into sharper focus. With over 20 years of experience, our safe, high-quality procedures ensure a consistent track record of patient satisfaction. At TLC, we believe everyone deserves freedom from glasses and contacts. Our flexible and affordable financing options are built to fit your budget, so you aren't held back by cost. Book a free, no-obligation consultation today at tlclasik.ca.
Christmas is better on the beach. Thanks to Sunwing's Holiday Escape Sale, you can vacation better this Christmas and New Year's in all-inclusive paradise and save up to $1,000 per couple. Experience award-winning service every step of the way with the best price guaranteed. Hurry! Top-rated vacations during the Christmas season are going quickly, so book today with your travel agent or Sunwing.ca.
680 News Time, 9:11. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by the 407 ETR, which is moving well both directions. No construction on it either. Eastbound on the 401 east of Harmony, the right lane's still blocked here with the crash, and the right lane is blocked. I think I just said that. Anyway, seeing delays from Harmony to just east of it. Westbound 401 approaching Brock Street. We're down to a single lane. This is for construction work that's happening, backed up from approaching Dixon now. And then west of Dufferin in the Express, the right lane was blocked by a stalled vehicle. It quickly cleared away. It didn't cause any problems anyway. Toronto-bound QBW over top the Burlington Skyway. 2 left lanes are closed for construction tonight, and we are seeing delays. It's a very slow drive through this construction zone near the end of the Skyway. Northbound 400 at Mapleview, the left lane's blocked, no problems. Southbound 400 at Essa, the left lane is blocked here, all because of construction on the 400 right now, but it's not slowing anything down. 407 ETR is the fast, safe, and reliable choice for small business, saving businesses over 7.7 million hours each year. 407 ETR, better for your bottom line.
Your next report is at 9:21 with the forecast. Michelle Mackey.
A frigid evening with wind chills into the minus double digits thanks to easterly winds gusting between 30 and 40 kilometers an hour. A spectacular Sunday for the Santa Claus parade. Plenty of sunshine, a high of 1. Still below seasonal, but Santa will love it, and hopefully you will too, better than where we were today. Monday, a high of 3, but we could see some showers into the afternoon. Tonight's overnight low is minus 5.
Downtown Toronto right now, a few clouds, minus 4 degrees, but with that wind chill, it does feel like minus 12. Similar conditions over at Pearson International. 680 News Time, 9:13.
Hi, Alan Merriam from Merriam Pianos. Holiday season is almost here, and you probably know that Merriam Pianos sells more baby grands than anyone in Canada, with the best selection and top piano experts. But you might not know that Merriam also sells more digital pianos than any other piano store in the country, and we always match big box and online pricing. So visit Merriam for special holiday savings on our entire piano selection. Merriam Pianos in Oakville and Vaughan.
We need a mortgage, but we don't have a 20% down payment.
No problem. At Meridian, we can help.
Ooh, she said we don't have 20%.
I said we can help. Our 5-year fixed high ratio mortgage at 2.49% helps you buy a home with the money you have now.
A high ratio mortgage applies with a down payment of less than 20% of the purchase price on a home. 2.49% APR assumes the typical example of a new mortgage. Rates subject to change without notice. Some restrictions apply. Apply today at meridianmortgages.ca or visit a Meridian branch.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
A few clouds, minus 4, but feeling like minus 12. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Casey Taylor. Here are the top stories this hour. No music intro, just Ron MacLean under the studio lights addressing the Coach's Corner controversy and again apologizing to the country. Almost coming across as a eulogy at times. MacLean looking back on his decades-long relationship with Don Cherry, fired last week after controversial comments were made. Hard moments this evening in Scarborough, where family and friends gathered to remember a toddler that was killed by a falling air conditioner earlier this week. 2-year-old Crystal died Monday. Her funeral will be held tomorrow. 680 News Time, 9:15. Time now for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here's Colin Teske.
Well, with 5 goals past Casimir Kaskasuo making his NHL debut, the Leafs finally got on the board in Pittsburgh.
A Lone Ranger rush drops it back and they score. The Tan dropping it back and Jason Spezza.
Joe Bowen with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Spezza with his second of the season. Leafs trailing 5-1 in the third period. Down in Dallas, the Raptors finishing up their Western trip, and right now they are trailing the Mavericks 38-29, but Fred VanVleet already with 10 points in the first half. Meantime, Jack Eichel looking to end a lengthy slump for the Sabres as they take on the Ottawa Senators.
Got it up the center, left there for Olsen.
Eichel with his 10th of the season, 2-1 for Buffalo now in the third period. Actually, the Senators have tied things up early in the third. We're tied at 2 on Sportsnet 1. While in Montreal, the Canadiens up 3-1 on the Devils until Nico Hischier did this at the end of the second.
It's an old man rush for the Devils lane. Saka has Nico cutting. He shoots, he scores!
Canadiens now have a 3-2 lead as they are waiting to begin the third period. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Some things just don't fit, like a truck that doesn't suit your lifestyle. That's why Toyota offers the adventure-ready RAV4 with available all-wheel drive. Find the Toyota that's right for you. Lease the 2020 RAV4 all-wheel drive LE for as low as $96 weekly at 3.99% APR for 52 months with $0 down. Or finance at 2.99% APR for 36 months. Visit your local Ontario Toyota dealer or getyourtoyota.ca. Some conditions apply.
From the excitement of their first day to walking proudly across the graduation stage, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to better prepare kids for the future and the jobs of the future. So we're making updates with a focus on positive mental health, technology, skilled trades, and math, so our kids are prepared to succeed every step of the way. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
680 News Time, 9:17. Iraqi officials say protesters have pushed closer to the green zone, Baghdad's fortified seat of government, after security forces pulled back following violent clashes.
Hundreds of protesters have taken control of part of a major bridge in central Baghdad, leading to the green zone, building barriers and shelters on it. Security forces are still deployed on part of the bridge in order to block the demonstrators. It is now the second bridge under their control. Protesters have taken to the streets in the tens of thousands, outraged by widespread corruption, lack of job opportunities, and poor basic services despite the country's oil wealth. At least 320 people have been killed and thousands have been wounded since the unrest began on October 1st. I'm Sarah Bassett.
South of the border, both sides of the political aisle fired up over the congressional impeachment inquiry. U.S. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff in his home state today, speaking to California Democratic Party members, receiving a standing ovation as he took the stage and as he finished his speech. The congressman telling the crowd President Donald Trump thinks he's above the law.
The most grave threat to the life and health of our democracy comes from within. From a president without ethical compass, without an understanding of or devotion to our Constitution and the beautiful series of checks and balances it established.
Republican lawmakers at closed-door depositions on Capitol Hill today saying beforehand that Democrats still have not found their smoking gun to prove President Trump pressured Ukraine to investigate his political rivals. And U.S. President Donald Trump has made a trip to Walter Reed National Medical Center in Washington, D.C.
White House says he's undergoing tests as part of his annual physical. The appointment wasn't on the president's public schedule for the weekend, but Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham says the 73-year-old Trump is anticipating a very busy 2020 and wanted to take advantage of a free weekend in Washington to begin portions of his routine checkup. Trump's last physical was in February. It showed he put on some pounds and was now officially considered obese. He weighed 243 pounds, measured 6 feet 3 inches tall, and had a body mass index of 30.4. Ben Thomas, Washington.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones. 680 News Time, 9:20.
You want better options, lower payments, financial freedom. At Rate Shop Mortgages, you've inspired us to do more than the banks. Instant approvals for home equity loans of up to $400,000. Lower monthly payments despite income, age, or credit. You've inspired us. Now let us inspire you. Save on your home equity loans starting at 5.99%. Apply at rateshop.ca. License 12733. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Maureen Holloway. Your best roads are still ahead. Have you found them? Well, maybe you're not driving a Lexus. Don Valley North Lexus can help with that. Right now, lease the redesigned 2020 RX 350 Premium Package for just $248 bi-weekly for 40 months, and that includes $2,000 in delivery credits. Expect excellence at Don Valley North Lexus, 3120 Steeles, just east of the 404. Details at DonValleyNorthLexus.com.
680 News Time, 9:21. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Alterna Savings on the eastbound 401. We still have a crash cleanup underway. It's east of Harmony in the right lane, and it's backed up from Harmony now on the eastbound 401, cleaning this away as fast as they can, though. Westbound 401, some delays because of the construction at approaching Brock Street. It's down to a single lane. You're jammed up from approaching Fixon, and we have some new construction going in place down on the west 401. It's at McCowan and the Collectors, just a single left lane so far. Not really slowing things down through this construction zone just yet. Where we are heavy still is on the Toronto-bound QE over top the Burlington Skyway. The two left lanes are blocked tonight, and we are seeing delays as you make your way through this construction zone. North and South 400 have some maintenance happening, both in the left lane. Northbound it's at Mapleview, southbound it's at ESSA, but it's not causing any problems. Wake up your savings with our scary good rates. Visit alterna.ca to learn more. Your next report is at 9:31, and with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Along with the winter jacket, you'll need all the winter accessories. It's frigid tonight with a wind chill around -10. We're clear overnight, and that sets the stage for a clear and sunny day tomorrow. Great news for the Santa Claus parade. Leaving in the morning, it'll be around -5, but +1 for parade time. That'll feel a bit better than where we were today. Here's the good news Monday. Temperature rises up to 3 degrees. The not so good news, cloud cover and the risk of showers ahead of a messy system on Tuesday. A rain-snow mix expected and a high on Tuesday of 4 degrees. Tonight's overnight low, -5.
Downtown Toronto right now, a few clouds, -4 degrees, feeling like -12. Similar conditions over at Pearson International. Coming up at 9:30, Ron MacLean talks directly to Canadians and to his former co-host Don Cherry. The first hockey night in Canada since Cherry was let go. A somber MacLean sitting alone under the lights, apologizing yet again. 680 News Time, 9:23.
Here's 4 holiday carolers working in unison to demonstrate Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Nice. Now here's what that sounds like if it wasn't full-time. Again, full-time all-wheel drive. Not full-time all-wheel drive. And in a Canadian winter, that doesn't sound right. Visit your Subaru dealer for a $500 holiday bonus at the My Subaru Gave To Me holiday event.
At 680 News, we know weather.
And we guarantee it.
If we're off by more than 3 degrees, we'll announce a lucky winner of our growing
Every time.
Now, get more chances to win each month and vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in November for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for 2 to the Blue Bay Grand Esmeralda. Enjoy the lavish amenities and tropical gardens of this resort just outside of Playa del Carmen.
With 6 gourmet a la carte restaurants and multiple pools around the resort.
Enter the 680 News weather guarantee with Sunwing and the Blue Bay Grand Esmeralda
at 680news.com.
This portion of the news brought to you by Tridel. If you plan on using the subway today, there is a subway closure that could impact your travels on Line 1, the Young University line. The TTC says there is no service on Line 1 between St. Clair West and King stations because of signal upgrades. Shuttle buses and Wheel-Trans service are running. DuPont Station, though, closed, but all others will stay open for fare sales. Regular service is set to resume tomorrow. Coming up in just a minute, the 680 News Business Report. 680 News Time, 9:25.
The Well, Toronto's most exclusive new community, sets the stage for incredible experiences. A unique mix of shops, restaurants, fresh food markets, workspaces, and residences. Located on Wellington, this luxury boutique condo rises 14 stories and overlooks a new grand promenade below. Tridel's signature series is destined to become the ultimate in exclusivity in King West. Tridel, built for life.
Here's 4 holiday carolers working in unison to demonstrate Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Nice. Now here's what that sounds like if it wasn't full-time. Again, full-time all-wheel drive. Not full-time all-wheel drive. And in a Canadian winter, that doesn't sound right. Visit your Subaru dealer for a $500 holiday bonus at the My Subaru Gave To Me holiday event.
680 News Time, 9:26. Time now for the 680 News Weekend Business Report.
I'm Chris McCusker. Workplace benefits fraud is a major concern. And to highlight that, a recent survey shows 75% of insured Canadians think the main consequence of benefits fraud is having to pay higher premiums or reimburse claim payments.
Shout out Reconnect and Dale's Pharmacy.
Fraud and electronic claims with the Canadian Life and Health Insurance Association. So first of all, Shannon, please clear this up for us.
So one thing that can happen is you may have to pay back that claim. You may lose your ability to submit claims. But on a more severe level, employees could lose their jobs. I mean, stealing from your employer is a serious offense. And most workplaces have a zero tolerance for that type of thing. Being fired for benefit fraud could also impact your chances of future employment. And finally, the last thing is people can actually be charged and convicted, jail being a possibility for committing benefit fraud.
So why do people do it?
The motivation behind benefit fraud can actually be quite difficult to pinpoint. And some folks see this as a victimless crime. Some people are driven by financial need or greed. But some people are wrapped into it, pulled into it by people they trust, providers that they trust, And again, another example, Chris, that we're seeing a lot of right now is the use it or lose it mentality. So people, they're being hit by marketing that says, the end of the year is coming up, use your benefits or lose your benefits. These are not messages that we want people hearing, because those are the types of things, using your benefits for products or services that are not medically necessary, puts your benefit plan at risk.
Shannon Delenardo is with the Canadian Life and Health Insurance Association. And at the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Man.
I'm off the medications and I feel great because I lost the weight that was making me sick. And you can too. I'm Pat Carano, a 51-year-old accounting professional from Woodbridge. Sleep apnea, sciatica, I had it all until I lost the weight and kept it off with the team at Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men. Losing my weight has changed my life. Come and see for yourself. I know you'll find success.
416-222-9887. HarveyBrooker.com. If you could do it alone, you would have done it already. There are lots of ways to treat your cold symptoms. You can carry around a spoon and syrup, or try alternative methods. How about those lozenges? Why not drop all that for a different way? Cold drops, just one drop with a naturally sourced ingredient for temporary symptom relief of cough, sore throat, and nasal congestion.
Relief with just one drop. Cold Drops.
For a retailer near you, visit colddrops.com. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Newmarket. You've decided you want the best. Your next decision should be Mercedes-Benz Newmarket. Now purchase select 2019s from 0.49% and have your first 3 months payments waived.
In Vancouver, some rain, 10 degrees. Calgary, clear sky and 5 degrees. Winnipeg, mostly cloudy, -2. Montreal, partly cloudy, -7. Halifax, mostly cloudy and 0. Looking south of the border, Chicago, overcast and 1 degree. Atlanta, mostly cloudy and 11. Miami, a clear sky, 20 degrees. Downtown Toronto right now, a few clouds, -4. Feeling, though, like -12. 680 News Time, 9:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good evening. This is Saturday, November the 16th. I'm Eden Tababa.
It's making news this hour.
Ron MacLean opened Hockey Night in Canada for the first time since Don Cherry's dismissal.
Just 2 years old, a vigil was held Saturday afternoon in Scarborough for Crystal, the girl who lost her life after being hit by an air conditioner earlier in the week.
New details emerging on the extensive rescue mission in last night's high-rise fire. Toronto Fire said the dead body found on an 8th-floor balcony is no longer considered suspicious.
It's going to be a busy one downtown tomorrow. A number of roads will close for the annual Santa Claus
the
parade.
death is
We've
not
got the
considered
details on the
suspicious.
new route and the best way to get
The
to
dead
it.
body's dead. He can't be suspicious of anything. How the fuck do these people don't fucking speak their own language properly? You're suspicious, buddy. I don't suspect anything.
Pittsburgh Sports at 45.
When you're acting suspicious, well, I'm
One
not
of the world's
suspicious of
largest
anything.
retailers is embracing blockchain right here in Canada. We'll hear from the CEO of DLT Labs on how Canadian companies can benefit from these solutions.
680 News Time, 9:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Craig Gear.
This report is brought to you by Hamilton International Airport. So some crashes out there eastbound on the 401, east of Mississauga Road. We have 2 right lanes blocked here. And it's solid from approaching Mississauga Road as you make your way through this collision. And then east of Harmony, the left lane is now blocked with this crash cleanup that's underway. Westbound 401 approaching Brock Street down to a single lane for construction. It's backed up from approaching Thixon, and the construction in place now at McCowan in the collectors. The left lane is gone, but no delays. Northbound 400 at Mapleview, a left lane is blocked here and no delays through this construction zone. Southbound 400, they're working at ESSA. The left lane's gone as well, but everything's up to speed. Southbound QEW over top of the Burlington Skyway, they've got 2 left lanes closed tonight, and it is heavy with delays as you go through this construction zone. Enjoy the savings when you fly nonstop to Orlando, Tampa Bay, or Fort Lauderdale from Hamilton International Airport, your low-cost airport.
Your next report is at 9:41, and with the forecast, here's Michelle Mackey.
Still over a month until the official start of winter, but it sure feels like winter has already arrived. Wind chill this evening around -10, so bundle up. And then Sunday, plenty of sunshine for the Santa Claus parade. We will wake up to a chilly morning, -5, feeling like -10, but into the afternoon, +1. Overnight, we are clear, and the low is -5.
Downtown Toronto right now, a few clouds and -4 degrees, though feeling like -12. Similar conditions over at Pearson International. 680 News Time, 9:33.
It's the end of an era. Tonight marks the first Hockey Night in Canada segment without a coach's corner. Sportsnet has parted ways with Don Cherry after a rant last weekend where he seemed to accuse new Canadians of not wearing poppies.
Co-host Ron McLean addressing the controversy again this evening.
We are all hurting. I have collapsed 100 times this week, if not more. We're all disappointed. Bobby Orr's disappointed in me. Bobby, I'm disappointed in me. I've sat all week long reflecting, listening to you, and I have heard you.
Instead of the normal coaches
I
calling
hear
the
you. I
broadcast
do
announced
hear
this
what you
year's
are
Hall of
saying.
Fame
Fuck.
inductees.
Why do people say the same
This is
things every
680
time you get
News.
fucking caught?
Friends and family gathered in Scarborough this evening to mourn the life of a toddler killed by a falling air conditioner. 680's Cam Dort reports on the somber event.
The healing has just started for the family and community surrounding 2-year-old Crystal, the girl who was struck and killed when an air conditioner fell from a Toronto community housing building earlier in the week. In Scarborough Saturday afternoon, dozens of people gathered to remember Crystal and show support for the family, including her cousin, Kasim.
She's always smiling. Every picture you probably see of her, she's always smiling. She was very sweet, very loving.
A statement from the family's lawyer says, quote, "We want to thank the public for this outpouring of support for our family while we are struggling to cope. This is a tragedy." Now an investigation into the building continues after a report from 2007 said many of the air conditioners in Toronto community housing buildings need to be replaced. I'm Cam Dorrit. 680 News Time, 9:34. We are learning more about the massive 5-alarm fire at a North York high-rise that killed one and displaced hundreds. Chief Matthew Peng.
If you have subsidized housing, which means you have more money, you're worse at living in your house somehow.
In
That
an
makes no
update by
sense.
Toronto Fire, the body located this morning on the 8th floor balcony after a fatal 5-alarm high-rise fire in North York is no longer deemed suspicious.
In the specific to Suite 808 and the Suite of Origin and a couple in the vicinity, the conditions were just such that there was physically no way for us to get in and complete that search.
The fire originated from the same unit on the 8th floor last night, spreading quickly and engulfing multiple floors in vicious flames. Hundreds of residents have since been displaced, and starting tomorrow, those being housed in the Driftwood Community Center will
How
be
does the fire
relocated
spread
to
in a
York
fucking brand new
University.
building? It's a
Red
condo
Cross is
building. How
currently
old is
working
this
with the
building?
city to figure out long-term solutions as the damage to the building is extensive. I'm Brittany Dooley. 680 News Time, 9:35. Prince Andrew says that he just does not remember a woman who has accused him of sexually exploiting her in encounters arranged by Jeffrey Epstein.
Virginia Roberts Giuffre says Epstein paid her $15,000 after she had sex with Prince Andrew in 2001 when she was 17. But the prince tells the BBC,
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
Andrews made similar denials for
Why are you
years, but
so
came under new
fucking
pressure following Epstein's
intense?
arrest
I
and
don't know her at
suicide
all.
last
At all.
summer in New
Not at
York.
all.
The prince also tells the BBC he regrets not cutting ties with Epstein after the financier's 2008 conviction on sex crimes involving teenage girls.
I think that's the bit that as it were, I kick myself for.
I'm Julie Walker.
As it were.
680
You know,
News
if
Time,
I did do it, I
9:36.
would kick myself.
The
As it
Ontario
were, you know,
Association
just
of
as
Chiefs
you're
of
saying it,
Police
that's what I
and
would
Arrive
kick
Alive
myself
Drive
for.
Sober have launched their annual holiday ride campaign. 680's Irene
You
Puckett
mad?
with more.
Ann Leonard is the president of Arrive Alive Drive Sober. She says it's
That's
about
a slogan.
planning ahead
That's not a
before
thing.
the party
That's a
or
slogan.
night out with things
That's
like
a
having a
police slogan.
designated driver or if you're
How the
hosting
fuck
a
do you
party, how
copyright
people
that?
stay over. She says impaired driving isn't just about getting a ticket or
Trademark
losing your
that.
license.
You can't take it back if you do make the mistake of getting behind the wheel.
The
And
mistake.
often people aren't always fatally injured, and that is the worst. But there are a lot of people who are badly injured. And that can be life-altering as well.
This year's theme for the ride campaign, Aim for Zero. Police telling drivers to expect them to be out there. I'm Irene Precklett. 680 News Time, 9:37. Tomorrow is marking an annual tradition in the city. The Santa Claus Parade is back for another year. 680's Kyle Hawking has everything you need to know about the route and the best way to get there.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yes, Santa is coming to town. He'll be here tomorrow, and he told me to tell you that if you want to stay on the nice list, take public transit to get to the parade this year, as there will be a number of road closures downtown and lots of pedestrian traffic. There's actually a new route for the parade. It begins at 12:30 at Parliament in Bloor, and will travel west along Bloor to Avenue Road, then south down to Wellington, a short jog east over to Yonge Street, south once again to Front, and then the parade makes a final turn east over to end at St. Lawrence Market. It said if you're standing in one spot, it'll take 2.5 hours for the whole parade to get past you. There are a number of TTC stations located along the route, or you can take GO Transit into Union Station, which is just a short walk away. I'm Kyle Hawking.
You're listening to All News Radio 680 News. The Distillery District is all decked out for the holidays with the opening of the Toronto Christmas Market. Matthew Rosenblatt is the event's founder and tells 680 News there is everything from a merry-go-round to a carousel, and that's not all.
My one word this year is lights. We're known for our lights, big light canopies, our iconic tree. We have a worldwide known light tunnel.
The market is open Tuesday to Sunday. Admission on weekdays is free until Friday at 6 p.m. and $6 after that, and on the weekends. Children under 5 years old can enter for free but require a ticket for the weekends. The market does run up until December 22nd.
Still to come on 680 News, traffic and weather together on the ones. But first, a gas price update. 680 News Time, 9:39.
We're two men and a truck. So, you're moving to
Move your shit like it's ours. Oh, that's a joke that I shouldn't be fucking saying too loud. Fuck this shit.